Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wrestle Theory, episode five. Well,
Five time, five time,
five,
five
five
time.
time,
Wrestle Theory, baby.
What is up, all my Wrestle Theory people? We still got to come up with a name for y'all, but thank you for all the love
Wrestle
that you guys.
Theorist.
Wrestle Theorists, I like that. Wrestle Theorists, I like it. So for all my Wrestle Theorists out there, we got your boy, the People's Champ, Alvin Peoples, and the boy Devin Oos. Always laying it down with the best content possible that we can provide, giving our straight 100% shooting opinions on, angles, topics, top tens, whatever. And we want to give our appreciation to everybody that's been supporting us so far in our short journey with all the love on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. So we want to appreciate or show our appreciation, to you guys. Devin, we want to give up the lineup for all of our theorists.
Yeah, sure. All right. So first thing we're gonna get into is we're gonna talk about factions, right? Because factions are kind of the hottest trend going on in the wrestling world right now. New Japan kind of started it with several factions into a promotion. So now all the other brands are starting to get on board, and I'm here for it. Then we're going to talk about we're going to bring back some fun facts that you don't believe might be real. Then we're going to talk about a certain individual that we know and love who got hold again.
L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
I gotta say that with my head down the way they're holding this mother. We'll save it.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about our boy main event, Dom. And then we're gonna wrap it up with the greatest tag team in the world. You know, it's all about that boom. We're better than you, baby. Got his scarf on right now. Actually,
exactly. Shout out to MJF and shout out to Devin Oos right there representing with the Burberry.
Yeah, and congrats to making it to the finals in the AEW Tag Team Tournament against the champs.
Definitely, that's gonna be
banger of a match.
I was literally just commenting with another Wrestle Theorist actually about FTR and saying how great of a tag team they are and how when they retire they're probably going to be the greatest tag team of all time. And I know don't shoot me, guys, like all Wrestle Theorists. I mean, I know there's great ones like LOD, the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, but we can't deny that these guys have been putting on banger after banger after banger after banger. Like, it's gonna be cool,
they do put on bangers of matches. That is true.
That is very true. All right, so let's get it in. Oh, before we start, too, I want to give a big shout out to LA Knight for I found that map and found where to get that Prime now. But yeah, we are drinking Prime though. They're not official sponsors, but we just thought about throwing that joke.
KSI, I'm a big fan. Please hire me.
Please, Logan. Please, KSI.
we'll take Logan too, bro.
I know, right? But no. So all seriousness, let's get started. And obviously the greatest topic and one of the most talked about wrestlers currently right now, L.A. Knight. Yeah. So, I'm a little pissed, but at the same time I'm trying to be patient when it comes to LA Knight, because like the piss part of me is like, WWE, what the hell, how can you not push this guy? This was a layup. I understand y'all didn't want to give him Money in the Bank. I understand that. I wasn't completely mad because Damian Priest is a good dude. He deserves it. There's going to be a great story. I think it could be on some like Batista Triple H evolution kind of like turn with him and Finn eventually, with Damian and Finn. So I wasn't mad about that. Then they're saying, Triple H, good thing comes to those who wait. And, I know it hasn't been that long, but we waited and it seemed like this was an easy one. Okay, let's get LA Knight versus Theory. Give him the U.S. title. Let's ride this momentum. Hopefully they don't Zack Ryder his ass and just give him the U.S. title so we can shut the fans up and then bury him.
Mm-hmm. Or how they did Sammy with the tag titles.
With the tag titles and many others that we wanted to get a world title.
Yeah, these motherfuckers give him the 24/7 belt. Be like, cool, we gave him a championship. And shut up.
Bro, that was horrible, man. That 24/7. I'm so glad they're done with that.
To be fair, R-Truth did make that bitch funny as hell.
He did. A big shout out to R-Truth. You did make that title entertaining. Other than that, everyone else just
I was gonna say outside of him, that belt was trash, but he made that shit good.
Real.
So you're 24/7 711 I-95 South and Intercontinental 24/7 television champion.
And man, R-Truth, shout out to him, man. We might have to do an episode one day on like most underappreciated guys, and we have definitely put him up there because dude's been killing it for a very, very long time. I remember when I was a kid, man, like back when he was K Quicks. I know a lot of people I don't remember that. Like he came in WF. He was like a jobber, not a jobber. I shouldn't say that. That's kind of rude, but he was just like getting out there. And this is like 99, early 2000. And then this one, Road Dogg and Billy were kind of splitting up. I think they did the brand split around that time, or just maybe Chuck before Chuck and Billy became a tag team, but or they just came a tag team. But Road Dogg's kind of by himself, so he had R-Truth. But this is back when he was going by K Quicks, and they were actually a decent tag team. But I don't want to get into R-Truth. I know it turns to the R-Truth show. That shit's crazy. But back to LA Knight, bro.
What's up?
Yeah, like I know what's up. Yeah, what's up, WB? Like, come on, man. Like, it's like, what's up? What's up? Bro, I love that interest. That shit was so hot.
It was dude, so catchy. Oh my god.
It is, man.
As a kid sitting at the TV, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh yeah.
And he's come out the crowd, and when he came back to me, he started doing that to kids and all the crowd. Oh man, so cool. I know something we're gonna talk about R-Truth. We started talking about. I just want
to talk about R-Truth, bro.
For real, like I mean, because he don't really get as much like shine or recognition as he deserves, man. So you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna talk about R-Truth a little bit. R-Truth, we're giving you your flowers today, man. Like you truly.
Wasn't even on the schedule.
Wasn't even like no, I don't even know how he got brought up, bro. But he deserves it, man. But yeah. So LA Knight,
bro, and bro, most badass heel turn of all time, bro.
When the little genius.
No. When he jumped, I think it was around the same time, but like when he jumped John Morrison after a match.
And cigarette.
And it was the best part was they were in Europe, so it's illegal to smoke inside in Europe. So he was technically breaking the law there too. So
I didn't know that. Shit, that could have been good for Wrestle Facts. I didn't know it was illegal to smoke inside a building in England.
Yeah. Well, wow. It's like different laws everywhere about smoking, and over the years they've gotten stricter with it.
That.
Oh, dude, it was so funny that like he did a heel turn and then actually broke the law. Like that shit is so badass to me. And on top of that too, especially for the era TV, it was definitely a lot darker to like see R-Truth of all people, a hero who was always like with the kids, just come out and start smoking a cigarette for a world where that's say we can hit you with a car, but we're not doing drugs. All right.
Big facts, man. That heel turn was surprising too, because Truth and Morrison was actually a really good tag team for a while before he turned on him and he just started smoking. I forget why the smoke became like a topic. I think they tried to say like the reason they were losing their matches because R-Truth is always tired because he smokes so much or something like that. And they threw that in there, but it was amazing. And the fact they only gave him one pay-per-view to go after the W title against John Cena at Capital Punishment was just ridiculous. Like they could have
just fucked up because that's his childhood hero.
I know, right? That's so funny, bro. R-Truth is hilarious. So, like I said, big shout out to R-Truth, man.
Definitely one of the funniest wrestlers to ever grace a ring, for sure.
Definitely. Funniest and very athletic too. Like I remember his TNA days. I mean, the dude when he was Ron Killings, like he's super athletic.
Well, I mean, that's his real name. So
yeah, I know, right?
He still is Ron Killings. But I mean, the fact that he's over 50 years old and can still hit a split, I don't know any 50-year-old that could hit a split like
cleanly too, and like pop up
on demand too. Like
for real, like
his hamstrings and his quads are like always ready, bro. They're like, or his groin, like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Big facts. One underrated R-Truth match was back in NWA TNA. It was him versus Ken Shamrock for the NWA World Champion. That was a very good match, and that's when he won the World Champion. So it was really cool. But yeah, like I said, I'm sorry, Wrestle Theory fans. So we're gonna get better at that. We get off topic from time to time, but
hey, thank you, R-Truth, for everything you've done.
Exactly. So salute to you, brother.
So tip of the prime.
I know. I'm at towards like the end of it, but yeah. Back to LA Knight, man. It's so horrible the way WWE does organically over people. And we're all afraid.
I still got faith in them, bro. I still got faith because I think, all right. So it was. They're trying to be a little bit less predictable these years, right? So he lost the Money in the Bank briefcase, and they're like, he's so over. He's got to win something, right? So it only made sense that everybody, including us, we said like, oh, he's got to go for the U.S. title. And so he lost, which which honestly just means that his path is going to be longer and greater. Because I mean, to be fair, I mean, you go to the main roster, you get over, and then just win the world title. It's kind of like it's not really a story. It's just what happened. So I think they're trying to do something more with it. I think there's more they should play onto. I think, which will go into our next topic. I think LA needs a little bit of a faction. You know.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that but the thing is too, like LA is so fucking hot right now with the promo work, with just, I mean, his videos, stuff that got like that wasn't even aired on TV was reaching millions of views on YouTube, like when they'll be post their clips and stuff. So clearly, this guy is on fire, man. Like, I don't think he needs a faction necessarily, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in a faction either because LA Knight is super entertaining, and I feel like that we really have to capitalize on this momentum, strike while the iron's hot, because before they know it, fans are going to stop caring about LA Knight because they're like, well, W doesn't want to push this guy. Why keep cheering for him? Kind of like how they did Zack Ryder.
Yeah,
so messed up.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he needs a faction because that's one thing that putting in a faction would take a little shine off him. But that's kind of the beauty of a faction is it can give you a break while the other guys like look awesome, and it kind of plays out well. But it's just that's why they need to end this Bloodline storyline, because it's like I said, it keeps holding the main event scene hostage, and so it's like now LA Knight being a world champion, everybody wants it to happen. It's a possibility, but we know that for a fact he's not going to be one to dethrone Roman. It doesn't make any sense, and so that story has aired its end. I hope my boy Jey takes it home.
Main event Jey
Uso. I hope he takes it home. That way we can put an end to this. Because then, like shit, I mean, LA and Jey going at it for the world title of the Universal Undisputed Championship would be a pretty cool match.
The fans would be so split.
Yeah, they would. And I would say. But the other thing too is I wouldn't even want that to happen right away, because you end a 3-year title reign. You gotta let somebody cook a little bit after beating Roman. So.
Facts. That's why it's like it only makes sense if they're going to let Cody do it, because we know Cody's going to carry the company, or hell, give LA Knight that chance, the opportunity. Because after a 3-year run, we don't want a person going to be a champion for like a month and then they give it to someone else. We don't need a fluke victory. We don't need any short, definitely no Rey Mysterio title runs.
Nah, bro, we need it to be. We need it to be a good run, a healthy run. Like, give it a couple months.
Yeah,
then they can start having it go back.
6 months, I think, max, probably. Because we don't need another long title run either. I think 6 months would be good.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, let Jey hold it for like 6 months, or Cody, or because even Cody, like 6 months, I'm happy with. Like,
me too.
Longer than Kofi's, as long as it's longer than Kofi's.
Yeah, well, Kofi about 6 months too, but as long as you don't lose it the way Kofi did, goodness grief.
I don't think he'll lose it.
Talk about a hold moment.
I don't think he'll lose it to Damian Priest in 12 seconds. I do not think. Damian's a big dude, but he ain't Brock now. He ain't that guy.
And in fact, they still never even try to complete that story. Just ugh. But I was gonna say, back with Knight.
Where is the New Day?
When NXT, I think last I remember hearing him. I mean, I know Big E's been hurt since the whole Ridge Holland
Big E, situation. They said he was healthy though, so maybe they're waiting. Maybe they're waiting to bring him back as a group.
That's another thing. Did you catch the heat that Ridge Holland was getting on social media?
No. What happened?
Yeah, so the SmackDown I was fortunate enough to go to, they had a tag team match. It was Pretty Deadly against the Brawling Brutes.
Okay, yeah.
And Rich Holland, a lot of people thought that he separated one of the blonde one from Pretty Deadly. I forget his name.
Kit Wilson.
Thank you. They thought that he injured him, which he did, but they thought he injured him on his belly to belly, kind of like how he broke Big E's neck. But what happened was, and he went on Instagram and Twitter and everything to try to like let people know, like, it wasn't the belly to belly that separated his shoulder. It was the pounce that I gave him, and he just had a weird landing. But fans were like, "Oh, you fucking, you're unsafe. You're not ready. Go back to NXT.
Yeah.
You've hurt Big E. Now you're hurting Pretty Deadly. They were getting a push. Now they got to stop." And like it was crazy. So yeah, I was wondering if you seen any of that and what's your thoughts on that.
I mean, so this is the first I'm hearing about it, but I mean, that's one of those situations like we talked about in the past where it's 50-50. I mean, you're putting your trust in the other wrestler to deliver the moves. Obviously, sometimes it's part of the game. Injuries are going to happen, but if it's happening commonly and it's career-ending injuries, I could see where it's like, okay, maybe he is the problem. But I mean, I don't think Kit was a career-ending injury. Sorry, because you see how he was like. I mean, shoot, he got up in the wheelchair and ran on Friday night. Like he was
Yeah.
messing with them. So I
Did you
mean,
see? Did
they're
you see
still
the
getting their
clip with
TV
him and
time.
Tony D'Angelo? Did you see that clip on NXT? I believe it
Nah.
was. Is it NXT or they were? It was a clip of them I saw on YouTube where they walk. They had a little feud thing going on, and they walk, and he was in a wheelchair, and he looked and seen him, and he was like, and then trying to wheel fast. And
Those
then,
two are pretty funny.
oh yeah, comedy gold, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. I was wondering if you heard about that, but
No, I mean that's pretty crazy, and I mean I get it too because I've been waiting for Big E all this time, man. Because I
me
mean,
too.
Big E should like I feel like his WWE Championship run should have been longer. I think him coming back and like I honestly, even if he came back and beat Roman, I would take it. Everybody would be like, "What Big E? Why Big E?" Look, dog, hear me out.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, honestly.
Because
Big E come back for a Royal Rumble and challenge him at Mania?
Because mind you, he fought Roman once and he lost because of the Usos. He at Survivor Series WWE versus Universal Champion. It was Big E versus Roman in that match. I had never seen Big E look greater. I mean, Roman did a great job, but so did Big E. And that match ended obviously with interference to protect Roman, to protect Big E. But I would like them to go at it again, and I'd like Big E to be that top guy once again. And of course, like do it with the New Day. I don't feel like they need to break up the New Day. I know they keep talking about it because it's been so long, but
yeah,
they're not stale. If anything, they'll just get hot again. They
yeah,
can't do it. Xavier
they
cuts
just
one
have
fire promo, and I'm like, yo, these guys are the goats. Like, fuck it.
I was gonna say Xavier, man. Like, shout out to him too. I remember him as a Consequences Creed in TNA days, man. When he'll come out with the American shorts and stuff, like he was Apollo Creed from
Yeah, bro. I was about to say, yeah, I've actually seen clips of that because I remember I told you I didn't watch a lot of TNA, but like one time I was watching like TNA like best entrances, and so like one was like Samoa Joe doing like his like cool like Samoan
the
like
Samoan one, yeah, when he fought Kurt,
and then
yeah,
you
that was
had
good.
Moose like with a football helmet and like people coming out like Moose,
That was dope.
and then you got Xavier.
I heard he might be on his way. WWE. Did you hear about Moose? I heard he might.
Really?
I heard
that would be surprising because he just seemed like a TNA for life kind of guy.
he does, doesn't he? He kind of gave me that like AJ vibes when AJ was first there.
Yeah.
And so when AJ left, it was like, what? And Moose has been the same, but
see, AJ went to like New Japan. Moose has been like TNA for like ever, bro.
Ever.
Like probably as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, but like AJ started though, he was one of the first people signed with TNA when they first formed in 2002. So when he left in like 20, I think it was 13, 14, whenever he left to go to New Japan, it was such a big shock because AJ was TNA, and then like Moose kind of basically became TNA around 2016 all the way up to where he's at now, or Impact Wrestling, I mean, now what it's called. But oh man, it's crazy to think because there was reports that he was spotted at the Performance Center and talking with some of the like people backstage. So I'm like, oh,
how old is he right now?
Moose is up there, like not up there. Like I think he's like in his. Let me see. I'm gonna look that. I don't want to lie and
give misinformation.
Yeah, for real. I don't want to give Moose, like, oh man, he's 40, but I don't think he's 40. I think he's like in his 30s, like mid 30s, late 30s. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Oops. Here we go. Moose is 39. He just turned 39.
So that's not too bad. No, yeah, because believe it or not, like a lot of people think like by the time you're 30, you're starting to get old because like we're 26, and it's like, oh shit. But 30 is actually like your physical like peak prime. So like 30 is like when you're entering your prime. So yeah. I mean 39, that's not bad. That's why people were saying the same thing with LA, but LA was arguing back like, yo, like yeah, I'm 40, but the difference between me and these other 40-year-olds is that they've had like 30 different surgeries. I'm healthy. So it's like 10 years out of your prime really isn't that long of a time. So I mean, I see 50 is like where it's like, oh, he really can't be wrestling anymore. 45-ish, you could slow it down, but
facts. And I'm glad that LA Knight did mention that too, like, and brought that up because a lot of people, that's one of their biggest things that they try to like argue him down. Like, I don't get the LA Knight hype. He's like 40 years old. Why is everybody so hyped about LA Knight? And it's
Yeah,
like,
WWE made him a fucking manager, bro. Well,
yeah,
don't get me wrong. Triple M, they're good, but
I do like that, but
not what
everyone
we
knew he was,
wanted.
yeah, like he was way better than that. And
Oh,
I was gonna say, you know, it's cool that you mentioned factions, you know, like earlier
mm-hmm.
with for LA Knight, and before we move on to our you know, talk with Lashley and everything else in factions, what's a faction do you think that could help LA Knight, or at least if not help him, at least keep him occupied while the main event scene is being held up right now by
All
main
right,
event
so
Jay?
believe it or not, I think this is kind of like a weird pick. It's not my best work, but I would say
Let's hear it.
the only connection storyline wise that A would make sense and B would work
Mhm.
would be the Alpha Academy. Because number one, Otis is a fucking treasure. Let's just put that out there. Man has always been
And
a treasure.
I'll give him the one. Otis is
Yeah,
hilarious
Otis is a treasure. Then you
and
got
athletic as shit.
Gable should have been getting pushed a long time ago. The man's abilities are just awesome. And then on top of that, Maxine's his on-screen wife. So it could be like they make amends. They could help out, and then on top of that, like you have LA Knight leading the group, but then you got Gable and Otis like carrying too. It'll be like a Judgment Day where they can all shine. It could be that kind of faction because even Maxine's like shining right now on Raw. Like watching her just do the bare minimum is so awesome right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. She's definitely getting over too.
Oh, she's super over right now. So that's why it's kind of funny that her and her on-screen husband are like super over and they're on a completely different show. So I think it would be cool. Like I'm also glad that she didn't sink after they split. I'm really happy about that. Because that normally happens. Like the star splits and then everybody else goes to shit. No, she's doing great.
She is. I do like her a lot too. And the thing about LA Knight, and I know you mentioned a little bit where you say, you know, he don't need the faction, but I do think that would be entertaining at least. But I also was thinking another way to do this because, as you're saying, like main event Jay, you know, the Usos, the bloodline, they're taking up the main event scene on SmackDown, and you know, we know they still have a story to tell with Cody, which eventually either Cody's going to win Royal Rumble or maybe Big E. I do like that idea though, when you said it, but I was thinking, and I don't know if they're going to do it, and I've heard this from someone else too. I was talking with a couple of people about this, but like, what if they decide to do like a trade, like around Survivor Series, where they trade Cody to SmackDown for LA Knight to go to Raw, and that way we can get LA Knight in that world title picture, and Cody can still be in the bloodline, and Cody don't even have to win Royal Rumble if they want to give it to like Gunther, or if they want to give it to Big E or McIntyre. Like, are you opposed to that, or
no? So I'm not. I believe it or not, you're cooking right now. But I will say this: Cody better not win the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row because that is some horse shit. If he wins it 2 years in a row, and then because he wanted just to lose, all right, I'm still mad about that. Why did he lose? Why?
Honestly, like I have no idea. Like, why? I guess I can understand if they want to really stretch it to try to make like Cody continue to chase, but I'm like, man, it was time. Like everyone was ready. You didn't give it to Sammy, WWE. You didn't give it to Sammy. We wanted Sammy to do it. You didn't give it to. We were like, all right, we'll take Cody because Cody, you know, we've been rocking with Cody for a while, and they didn't even do it then. It's like, what the fuck?
The thing is, though, is when Cody wins the WWE Championship, the one thing people forget is it does not have to be Roman. It has to be the championship, and I feel like it still should be a run that matters. Like, don't put it on the Miz for like 2 nights and have him lose it like they did to make Bobby Lashley's first championship reign. Because I mean, he won it, but like we knew he was winning it, but it wasn't like he won it in like a tough match, you know. So like make it still rewarding. But
Facts.
but it doesn't have to be Roman. It could be somebody else to dethrone Roman, which is why Jey is such a good option right now, which is obviously where they're going. But I'm a little worried because I do not. I don't think they're gonna give it to Jey, but
I don't either. I would love it just for the just the pop that it would get at SummerSlam. Like that would blow the roof off if Jey.
Detroit would go wild,
bro. If Jey would win, because Jey, bro, when they came to North Carolina and SmackDown, the roof went off for 2 people. 3 people that whole show, and it was Jey Uso, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes. That was the 3.
Understandable,
and it's like, and the more I think about it, I'm like, I can see Jey Uso winning the title. Like, I'm not against it 100%. I want, like, I know people are, but I want to see Jey do it. But if it's not Jey, it better be Cody. And watch W give us fucking Grayson Waller to like.
It's crazy too because I like Grayson Waller,
Me
but
too.
him going to SmackDown has made me hate Grayson Waller. Not because of him doing good heat, but it's because everybody's like riding his shit and they're like, "Yeah, fuck Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, fuck Grayson, fuck this person, Grayson Waller." I'm like, what? And I like, don't get me wrong, I'm cool with even what they're doing. They're having Edge give Grayson his props. He's probably gonna wrestle like John Cena in the future.
He's got back and forth stuff going on social media with The Rock right now too. And The Rock is even like talk with him, and Grayson Waller invited him to come on his show. Like, shit's crazy.
Yeah, he might be that guy Stone Cold's coming back to give the rub to. Who knows?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that might be if it's not going to be.
He might be going the Randy Orton path, the Legend Killer shit. So I mean, he lost to Edge, but think about it: if he's bumping elbows with all these legends, it could be a potential like new Legend Killer, you know. And so I mean, he's young, he's cocky, he isn't too far off from like old school like beginning Orton, you know.
Yeah,
I honestly probably be a bit better, more cocky, more in-ring ability, more personality than Orton had at that age. I mean,
yeah, and he's athletic as shit too.
World heavyweight champion of all time. So
that is true. And you know what? I actually wouldn't mind like if when Randy does come back from that back injury, if they do a program with him and Grayson Waller, you know, kind of to be like not like completely copy the Legend Killer character, because the way
don't go with
Randy killed it. There's no way he could copy, but at least take bits and pieces, kind of like what LA Knight does with like Rock and Stone Cold. He takes bits and pieces, the cadence, and make it his own, you know. And I think that Grayson Waller can do that just in a different way with the Legends. But I really think like, and I could be wrong, but I really think they're gonna do something with him and Rock, and the reason is because like actors and writers are currently on strike right now. Like,
really?
I don't know if you heard about that? Yeah, they're on strike bad because like a lot of the actors, like the Writers Guild joined in with the writers because a lot of these writers aren't getting paid the way they feel they deserve.
Are you talking about like WWE writers or like movie writers?
Movie writers.
Okay.
Movie writers. Yeah.
I was gonna say like, oh, that explains why Ray lost. The writers are like, what do we do? We're not getting paid. You want LNA too damn bad.
You know what, bro? That could be, you might be onto something, because that was literally like, all respect to Rey Mysterio, you were one of the GOATs. I will never get it twisted. I am not expecting, but when you won on SmackDown, I was like, why? What the fuck? Why did Rey win? He didn't need to win.
NXT was like, NXT's like, we're not getting paid. Hey, somebody called Dominic Mysterio. He's about to win the North American title. We're just getting unpredictable this week. Hey, you know what? Put him on the main event every night. But he's not a main eventer. We don't give a fuck.
Bro, you know what? This is making a lot more sense now. Maybe I gotta look into that if the WWE writers are on strike too, because there's a lot of shit been happening in WWE where you're just like, why the fuck is he on this show? Why did he
what's
win?
My promo? We don't care. Just walk out with some chicken wings.
Rollins, man, I swear he's so funny. But bro, that is crazy. That is, I didn't even think about that. But I didn't hear about WWE writers. I didn't hear about it, but I know
that's funny.
The writers. That it makes a lot of sense though. Like, because like if you're like, okay, let's say we just talked to a casual wrestling fan that probably hasn't like watched like week to week, but they know everything is still kind of going on, and he'd be like, and we just told them, hey, can you believe that Dominic Mysterio is going to be the main event of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown? And he's actually going to win the North American Championship too. The fucking fan will be like, Dominic who? Dominic Mysterio?
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, by the way, all three matches are also title matches.
All title matches too. That is crazy. That is insane. Like, Dominic.
There's your fun fact.
I know, right? It's a fun fact right there. Dominic Mysterio is the only person to ever main event Raw, NXT, and SmackDown the same week. Legendary shit.
Speaking of fun facts, let's get into our fun facts that you might not believe to be real. What's up?
I was gonna say, did you want to go into that last, or do you want to do the faction?
I'll do the factions last because
cool.
Since it's just a smooth transition, you know.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right,
since we're here, okay. So you want to go first? Yeah, you go ahead. Take it off.
All right, I'll take it off. So, fun fact, wrestling fact, you won't believe it is real, but it is. Io Sky has the second longest reigning Money in the Bank in like history, WWE history, with 40. Like what was it at 4 days? I believe is that what it was?
By 4 days,
By 4 days,
she broke the record to be the second longest.
the Rams broke the record second longest. That is crazy when you think about it, because you think about like Money in the Bank, like since 2005 when it first started, and you think of the guys like Edge and RVD, Kennedy, Swagger, all these people, Cena, everyone who's won it. Most of these guys, they held it for a little bit of time, build their character up and then cash in whatever. But the fact that the women just be like, nah, fuck that. I want my belt now.
Tonight.
Tonight. Exactly. Like, because it's not like women hasn't even been in Money in the Bank as long as the men have. But it's like Io is the current Money in the Bank, saying briefcase holder. And the fact that she is the second longest reigning is fucking insane. Like, it's crazy.
The other part that's wild too is the last guy to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase at Money in the Bank was Dean Ambrose in 2016, right? Mm-hmm. That's when he cashed in on Seth after Seth beat Roman to win the WWE Championship. Mm-hmm. And since then, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match didn't even start till the next year, right? I think it was 2017. Yeah,
2017, yep.
So, and since then, it's been nothing but women cashing at the same night. And it's like, damn, y'all can let the briefcase breathe. Like, they got too much luggage. That's why they're like, yeah, we ain't trying to hold this.
All right, what about yours, bro? What's your
So my fun fact is John Cena is not a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, that is very true. I actually pitched this in my universe mode. It's so funny. Back when I had this is not with 23, but just like 22 or whatever. Because I was like, Cena has never won the Intercontinental Champion. Why can't we book something and get Cena in there to win the Intercontinental Champion? I feel he deserves to have that Grand Slam title. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I think a perfect fantasy booking is if Cena can get back in wrestling shape, him and Sheamus should go at it for a chance to get at Gunther, and then whoever wins that should be able to be the one to beat Gunther. So I think that'd be dope.
That would be dope.
So, but I don't see Cena getting into that shape right now.
Hey man, with the writers, back when I was talking about the writers strike and the actors, Cena and Rock may be available because there's no telling how long this could last. So they may be available soon. So
true, yeah, but I don't need Rock and Gunther going at it. That's just not necessary.
No, not Rock.
No,
no, the Rock was for Grayson Waller.
Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, I still think Sheamus because he has so much history with Gunther now.
Yeah, like I feel like to me, like that's another thing, like another trade that I would love to see if they could get Sheamus on Raw or bring Gunther to SmackDown and just bring Theory back on Raw, because maybe it's me, but I feel like
I need Theory where he's at. It's all part of my master plan.
Well, yeah, that is true. But I was gonna say, like, is it me or like when they switched? They're still important. They're still featured, both of them, but it just feels different. It's not as like must see, or you're just hoping and see like who's going to be the one to challenge Gunther, who's going to step up. Like on SmackDown, they always have these different guys.
And then the writers go on strike and be like, you're getting Mustafa Ali
for real, right? And he had a lot of different people. And then with Theory, when he was on Raw, he was basically in that main event picture almost every week for a while.
Yeah, he was carrying Raw, believe it or not. Him, Seth, and Bobby were carrying Raw and elevating the United States Championship to make it look like a real title, because there was no main event title on Raw because Roman was holding the main event scene hostage. Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, I guess we can now ease into our faction talk, because we're basically tiptoeing on my dream not my dream faction, but my fantasy booking.
Wait, did you give your wrestle opinion? Your wrestling fact?
John Cena has never been a
okay, wait. My man, I was like, damn, that was fast. We're moving on already. I got you. All right, that's fine. We're back.
We go where the water flows.
I know, right? But all right, yeah, we could definitely move on to our faction talk. So there's been a lot of rumbling going around about a possible Hurt Business 2.0, or they may not even be called the Hurt Business. So we have Lashley recruiting the Street Profits, and then just last week we see him talking with Trick Williams and with Carmelo Hayes. So the question is, Bobby, what are you up to? And like, what are you like? How do you feel about this Devin news? Like, do you feel this is something good, something bad? Are you just waiting to see what happens? Like, what do you suggest, or would you change something, add somebody? What do you think?
So I mean, I'm cool with bringing back the Hurt Business because it was working before, but honestly, like Carmelo Hayes and Trick coming back to replace Shelton and Cedric wouldn't be bad because I mean Cedric's talented, but I just don't feel like there's a lot going for him. Shelton, we already know most underrated of all time, but they've clearly proven that they don't know how to book him properly. The Hurt Business was probably like one of the best things he had going for both of them.
Honestly,
So I definitely think they should revamp the Hurt Business, but they haven't even shown Shelton or Cedric on TV in so long. I don't even know if Cedric's still with the company right now. So I mean,
I want to say he is, but I think last I heard from him, he was like an NXT. Like they brought him in NXT to do something. It was around the time when they brought Apollo when he first went back over there for a little bit. Or is he still there? Apollo Creed? Apollo Creed?
He's still on NXT. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think Cedric might be somewhere lost in the shuffle.
Apollo, man, they gotta like respectfully, they gotta let Apollo go, man. It's like they gave him a chance when he had the Intercontinental title run. Like that was pretty dope, where he was like he pulled out his like African heritage or Nigerian heritage. He was doing that whole thing. That was pretty cool. And it was perfect. It gave him some character because like when I first got back into wrestling, my roommate who got me back into wrestling, he called I was like, oh, who's that guy? I was like, Apollo Crews. And he's like, oh, you mean Apollo Snooze? He was like, yeah, that dude. He's like, whatever. He didn't even care about that dude. Like, Apollo's best move is when he got kicked out of the air mid-flip by Braun Strowman. That was his best move ever. Like,
that is so cold. he had some good moments in NXT before that, but that is actually what he's most remembered for, honestly. Is getting
so he goes back to NXT. I'm like, cool, but then they get him into the rivalry with like Commander Aziz, and then they just like stop the Nigerian thing, and now he's just Apollo Crews again. And I'm like, why did we step back from all this? So it's like he needs a repackaging too, kind of like how they're doing Corbin right now, because I think Corbin's gonna really profit off of like the repackaging they're doing, where they're like no bullshit, no gimmicks. The promos they've been cutting have been awesome. But speaking of NXT, my call up, right? I gotta call somebody up for my new faction that I've planned. So we keep talking about how Austin Theory's title reign has been lackluster, how they keep kind of giving him the short end of the stick, and how his title run hasn't been memorable. So what my fantasy booking was that LA was gonna win these qualifying matches. He was gonna show up.
They fucked that up, right?
So it can still happen. But
it can still happen.
It's not the way I wanted it. Not the way I wanted it to happen, because we were trying to get some heat for this. But so it would have been LA pulling up to Detroit to face Austin for United States Championship, and then all of a sudden, and then I guess Rich Holloway's also messing with me now. But and then Tiffany Stratton comes up from NXT to SmackDown to help Austin get the win, and then Austin reveals his new faction. Name to be pending on my WWE 2K23. They're called the Insiders. But then you have Austin Theory, Pretty Deadly, and Tiffany Stratton kind of going for this Barbie and Ken vibe, so they can start like fake dating like Dom and Rhea. And then you have Pretty Deadly. They can do the funny flamboyant stuff. Tiffany, she can act like a Barbie, and then Austin can be the Ken. He doesn't have to change much. Just go back to a little bit more on the phone and to wear a bit of pink, but he can stay exactly the same, because I still want him to keep that level of aggression to where he's still a real heel and a real threat when he defends his title. But that's my fantasy booking. They beat LA. I think that would get some major heat, and that is my fantasy faction.
Yeah, when you told me about the fantasy faction of the Insiders, I remember messaging you on Messenger about it, and I was like, bro, that could work. Like that could work, man, because like I could see like Theory really getting into like that, because he already could come off as like one of those annoying heels, and
he also can come off as goofy and innocent too, like he was on NXT as part of the way. Yeah,
so it's like I think that'd be perfect for him.
He's got range.
Kin. Yeah, like he played that character, because Tiffany Stratton is amazing. Like I love her gimmick, and even the theme song, "Daddy's a rich girl," what I'm saying? Like that shit is.
It's like with the Barbie movie coming out, bro. It's like the perfect time to do it, because it's in right now. Everybody's hot on Barbie. Every girl I know over 20 years old is like, I need to see that movie, and I'm like, oh, chill, it's this movie. And they're like, I need to see it. Cool, all right, I get it. A lot of dudes actually are talking about, I want to go see it. Shoot, I want to go see it now because all the dudes are hyping it up. Like, I don't want to be left out of the fun.
well, it is somewhat wrestling related. I mean, John Cena is playing a mermaid in there.
I mean,
he is.
I just saw a meme too, like literally right before we started recording, where it was John Cena and another mermaid, like an actual chick though, in the movie. And they were like, tell me the producers don't give a damn about you when John Cena's got a perfectly like edged up lace front on, and this girl just got a thrown on wig. And I'm like, damn, like hair and makeup's like, yeah, here's a pink wig. And then John Cena, they were like, we're gonna get you right, girl, baby girl. We're gonna lay your edge.
We'll let them edges down. We're gonna look nice.
And John Cena looking like a bad bitch.
Facts. But man, I love the idea of the feud, and then even not the feud, I'm sorry, the faction, but for people for them to feud with, like I was pitching you before, like I think the Brawling Brutes, I think that could be something.
Brawling Brutes would be good because I mean they've already kind of been tiptoeing on that with Pretty Deadly and the Brawling Brutes anyway,
and they got this injury angle thing that they could possibly use that, even though it's legit shoot real, his shoulders fucked up, but now they could lean in more towards
they could start it off of like, oh, you hurt our dude, so like screw you, and then obviously I think like we were talking about last week too, they could be using that also for Butch to try to go at Austin for the US title instead of Sheamus, because Sheamus has had the US title before, and I want Bush to start getting pushed again to be like how he was at like Pete Dunne. They did a good thing that having him picked for the Money in the Bank. I'm glad he was in that match. I wouldn't mind Ridge getting pushed either, because believe it or not, like for him being like somebody who just popped up one day in WWE, no NXT buildup, no nothing, just showing up as a Irish dude that's friends with Sheamus, like his in-ring ability is pretty good. Like I actually enjoy watching him wrestle. I picture like Chris Pratt. I don't know. He looks like Chris Pratt to me. So I just picture Chris Pratt just got buff as hell and it's just like, yeah, just throwing everybody. And it's just like, cool,
Kind of does, yeah. It was like Chris Pratt. That's one of my favorite actors too. Currently.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Chris. Oh, he's the boy. He's the homie, bro.
Maybe let's get one for Chris. We put him in the graphic.
For Chris Pratt, Hey, thank you for Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, I think number 3 should be on Disney Plus. I'm about to watch that today.
I think so. Yeah, I gotta watch that too. I have watched the first one, loved it. Second one,
get it here. Wrestle Theory first. Watch the live.
I know, right?
Plus, maybe.
I mean, Disney would probably try to demonetize us fast, but I would love to do a watch along one day. Maybe we could do that one day. Like we could do like top underrated matches that other fans don't.
Oh, I would love to do that. Yeah, man.
Oh, we should do that. That's gonna be See, look at Wrestle Theory fans. You're gonna get that soon. Mark our words for it. But back to the faction. I'm sorry.
Let's get a couple more subs. Y'all like and subscribe before we start putting in more effort.
Exactly.
We ain't getting paid for this.
Not yet, man. We need them like, subscribe, share, please. Definitely helps out the show. I wanted to talk more about the faction because just some ideas, because I was saying like Brawling Brutes, and I was like maybe they can add a member. And I remember I mentioned to you Nikki Cross. I thought would be a really good addition to the Brawling Brutes, or if not Nikki Cross, or I mean
she's Scottish, isn't she?
Yeah, she is Scott. Yep, she's Scottish.
So she would fit the bill.
Yeah, I was just gonna be like, I think Nikki Cross would fit, and so they could have like Nikki and Tiffany Stratton going at it, or another group that could work against the faction too, of course, would be the New Day, and maybe they could just add a female to help out. I don't know which one it would be, but
I'm not sure. I'm not sure either, but that's not a bad idea, because honestly, that was the other thing. I noticed every faction is starting to ally themselves with one female, and I think that works because it kind of like it evens out the Rhea Ripley problem is what I want to call it, because like every faction that goes against Shows today, it can't handle Rhea Ripley. So the OC got Mayan. You give Austin Theories the insiders. You give them Tiffany. You give
or we could do
Alpha Academy now has training up old girl Maxine.
Or I mean, I know they're on different brands, but if they wanted to do like DIY, they could have Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. They can throw Candice LeRae, in there. Or
they also have Index still too. So I mean, they're good because they have 2 females. So they're still the way. It's just Austin and Dexter swaps places. Which I need more Dexter Lumis on Raw, by the way.
We do. I wouldn't mind him being a part. Like, if they really would do a trade, there's a couple people I really feel like could benefit from just a change of scenery, and I think Dexter Lumis is definitely one of them. They bring him to SmackDown. Just let them get in there. Hell, I would love to see Dexter Lumis mix it up and getting involved in that U.S. title picture. How they got, give more like Santos, some more shine.
Like, yeah, just give at least
other
like
Butch, yeah, some
I'm
other
not even
guys.
asking for like storylines. Like, I would love that stuff for them because there's a lot of people in Raw right now getting lost in the undercard, but it's like they're not even competing. And it's crazy because they're a such bigger show than SmackDown. They have a whole extra hour of recording time, and they're not even getting matches. It's like all the guys, at least that you forget about on SmackDown, are still competing in matches. Like Los Lotharios and all those guys, like they were still competing when they were on SmackDown. I don't know what they're doing right now. I'm not gonna lie, but
lost in the shuffle, man, or they just
but it's like you have Dexter Lumis, you have Johnny who's got lost. You got Tommaso Ciampa who's finally coming back, but he was lost, but it was partially because of injury. But
shout out to Bronson Reed. He's finally not lost again.
Yeah,
we saw him wrestling.
Hey, welcome back, dog. How you been?
For real, man. It's good to see you again. I thought you went back to freaking Japan or somewhere to wrestle. Like, damn. But I saw him wrestling Shin, so that was pretty cool watching him. And I think he could possibly, if they don't, let's say if how they're doing them currently, they work them, they don't hear nothing for a while, then they bring them back, don't hear nothing for a while. If they just constantly focus on him, just having people run through people like jobbers, regular wrestlers that are lower to mid card, then build them up to take the title from Gunther if they want to do it, if we can't get Sheamus,
Yeah, so one thing they need to do is they need to like kind of sit down and reevaluate roster size, because I think that's what happens when you have too many people, too much talent, right?
Yeah,
it's an issue because I mean, shoot, that's how I feel in the video game sometimes. I'll be sitting here trying to like book factions or like book rivalries and shit.
Bro, I'm the same way.
Yeah, bro, I'm like, damn, bro, there's like too many damn people on here. Like, I only got 6 matches this episode. Like, damn.
Bro, I literally, I created a freaking, and this is actually something I feel like that we should do. I had to create, secondary titles for the women. Like, I created a women's United States champion, which I think they should probably, my universal was a little weird, but I got, one for a United States women's champion, and I also got a TV champion. But not saying that the women needs, 2 mid-card titles like on Raw, SmackDown. I think they get just 1 mid-card title that can float. That's kind of how I do it. The U.S. title floats between different brands like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and they're always featured basically because you got so many women. And I think this is another problem that WWE has. They have so many women, but yet it's like if they're not fighting for the world title, they're really not on matter. TV. Yep. Yeah, and it's like that's one thing AEW does really well. I think to a degree because they suck too at booking.
Well, I mean, at least they got the TV titles. Starting to give other women something to do, because I mean they did at least make Raquel and Liv look really good. It gave Shayna something to do. It gave Ronda something to do because they were like, "Hey, you can't have a world championship, so you're not gonna put me on TV."
Yeah.
So I'm cool with the singles title, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna mean much when you win it.
I think it will if they get rid of get rid of the tag titles for the women, because no offense, no one gives a fuck about them. It's a bunch of makeshift teams. They don't really have good chemistry. A lot of the matches kind of look kind of sloppy, to be honest.
Actually, that is very true. They are all makeshift teams because the last real women's tag team that we've had was the Iconics. That's the last real women's tag team.
Which is so crazy.
I love that.
I did too, but
they were great.
That was 2017, 17, 18.
And then they won it. They actually, they both reunited after they both got out of WWE.
Yeah, an Impact. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love them. They were both amazing. And then, Billie Kay, when she went solo, on WWE for just the backstage little things, she was hilarious, bro. Yeah. Or she was like, "I have headshots, and I know you need." She went up to the Street Profits I know you guys need inside tips for Survivor Series, and I was on Raw, and the Street Profits were like, "Billy, we were on Raw at the same time as you."
I love that shit. Honestly, if WWE would do that or try to feature women a little better, I would love to see the Iconics return. Because I don't care what people say. People they shit on them when they won the tag titles because they beat Sasha and Bayley. But
I was a little mad too, but at the same time, I it.
Yeah, because I'm we got to give these girls some shine and a chance.
They're a real tag team, unlike everybody else.
Exactly, real tag team. Really good friends too. They came up with moves. I mean, they weren't the best workers. Peyton Royce is fucking she's phenomenal, low key. But like together they were gold. I feel like
Oh, even their
they come
individual
back.
entrances were like badass because they had their own individuality to them. Because like,
Mhm.
shoot, in I think 2K22, my woman wrestler, I used Billie Kay's entrance because like she comes in looking like a cool like queen, and then you got Peyton Royce, she's got the little flower and stuff. So
Yeah,
like the way they lay across the ropes is they were very unique. And also once again they were an actual tag team. Because I'm like, yeah, you got the Bella Twins and you got Iconics. I can't think of another women's tag team in history that was actually. Oh, Lay Cool. That was Lay Cool.
Lay Cool, yeah,
They were a real
and
tag
they
team.
weren't even around for when the tag titles were a
Yep.
thing for women.
They
You
they
know,
instead they broke the women's championship in half and held half each.
they were ahead of their time too. Like very entertaining shit
Mm-hmm.
that they were doing because yeah, no one has done that since like break the title in half, and we're both
Mm-hmm.
women's shit. Like Lay Cool, shout out to y'all and the Iconics because I give y'all the one because I didn't think we were going to talk with y'all today, but I'm so glad we did. And hope the rest
We
of
miss you
their
and we hope
fans.
you guys are doing well.
Yeah, very much so. But
I can't
man, that
speak for
was
WWE, but I'm speaking for Wrestle Theory. We miss you guys.
yeah, Wrestle Theory. We definitely miss y'all. Much love and respect over here, man. But yeah, I love the idea though, like how I do in my universe movie, like with the I call it's the women's United States champion. I mean, it could be something else. It could be any type
You
of
want
mid
a women's
card.
singles title? I get what you're going for.
Yeah, I really think they will benefit from that because that's the number one complaint by many women in that company too, is that they don't feature the women properly unless they're in the world title picture. And now you got to look at it. Charlotte is, she's a vet. She's been doing this for a while. Becky, vet, been doing it for a while. Bailey, vet, been doing it for a while. And then it's like, okay, well, after they go, Sasha's already gone. Trinity's gone to Impact. Who's going to be that next layer of women to hold it down? And it's
So
like
I have a
Bianca.
solution. No, I have a solution that might work. No, so they're still going to be here for a while, Monty. All these women, like we were talking about when we were talking about age, they're all pretty young. Like
Oh
they're
yeah,
all they're all in their 30s and younger right now. So
yep.
as far as having a women's division, they're set for the next 20, 30 years easy with these same women wrestling. Right. So they're good on that aspect. So I wouldn't really stress that as long as they're healthy. And believe it or not, like I said, we've been talking about women's injuries. They're tough.
They are.
They have less injuries than the men do, and
Mhm.
they will have more gruesome matches than the men do.
I know someone's probably going to be like, "That's because they get less opportunity."
That is true, but they don't miss opportunities they're given. They still
Yeah,
go out and they still take their bumps just like everybody else. But I
facts.
think what they should do is so I know they were trying to make NXT a couple years ago the third brand of WWE as far as like equal kind of in that level of the WWE version of ECW. I know people don't like to talk about it because it wasn't real ECW, but I think they should
take a shot for every time you have a memory of that.
Yeah, I already finished my prime too, dog.
I did too.
But I think they should make a new third brand and just take people from the main roster and like kind of like blend it in. So all those people on so what I would say here, right, is don't take all the scrubs and put them on this new show because then that's how they got the last ECW
Yeah,
was so because
was,
nobody's gonna give a shit. So what you
mhm.
do is you can make a new world title, which I know 3 world titles is kind of like, yo, what the hell? But it'll be able to keep the same platform, but even out the rosters because then you take a bit from all the main event, the mid card, the undercard, the jobbers, and you put them on this new brand and a women's division as well. So that way, all the women are actively working and fighting for titles. Instead of making the mix up every year, you can make it like twice a year. So you could do like SummerSlam or no, not SummerSlam. You could do like Survivor Series and Survivor Series and WrestleMania after WrestleMania and after Survivor Series. You could do like a brand split mix up. So that way you can keep storylines fresh, super fresh because you're constantly mixing the rosters and it's constantly different women competing in main event scenes, and you could have these storylines, and then you could have these new factions you didn't even think about because the reason I say not making NXT a third brand, they were doing a good job trying to put it on bar. Like they made Adam Cole look really good as NXT champion, going against guys like Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins.
They made
But
Keith Lee look like a monster against Brock. Like they were really trying.
They were. But I think it should stay the developmental brand, especially because like NXT Black and Gold era, we lost a lot of those hard hitters to the main roster or the company. We lost them out of the company. So I think they should stay the developmental brand because I mean I think it's working. Like they people forget like that now. Some of the fans, like not the NXT fans, because NXT fans, you know, they're true wrestling fans, but like a lot of people are like expecting like new debuts to be like super duper indie guys who've been wrestling forever, so they're just the best, right? Because like I don't know her name, The Rock's daughter, who's part of the Schism right now.
Oh,
Uh,
damn. What is her wrestling name? I know her real name, but I don't know her wrestling name. But I know you're talking about anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, but like, yeah, she's part of the Schism of Joe Gacy and everything, and I like that she's taking her own route with it. But like, they're mad because she doesn't know how to wrestle like Ronda Rousey or Charlotte, and it's like, yo, this is they forget it's still a developmental show. No, NXT has had some bangers. They've actually had 5-star matches.
When
On
you
the
mentioned that, I remember a comment that someone said about that because it was WWE posted on their Instagram. It was a clip of the Rockstar. She ended up like winning, and someone was like, "It's a damn shame her father's the greatest of all time, but she can't even do a damn wrist lock or something like that." And I was like,
oh,
"Dude,
that's
like,
a
yeah,
that's out of order.
yeah, I mean, people were coming at her crazy, and I was like,
It's not fair.
it's
Everybody starts
not."
somewhere. She could have been handed like they could have did like thrown her on SmackDown and had her win the world title and not be able to even know how to wrestle. But no, they didn't do that. She chose to go on NXT, start in her own group, start her own character, and start from the bottom. And it's a developmental brand. I'm happy for what she's doing. I wish her the best. I'm glad she's taken to choose her own path. Like good on her.
And a lot of people don't even know the story. Like, it was years ago. Rock did an interview, and they asked him about like his daughter, and they're like, "Oh, you know, you have a daughter, and she's young now, but like, do you would you love to see her possibly get into the wrestling business one day and be a world champion like you?" And he was like, "Absolutely not, hell no." And I remember seeing that, and I was like, damn, Rock, why? But then I had to think about it, like, oh yeah, all the girls now are, at the time at least during the interview, are doing mud baths, bra and panties, pie face.
They were sexualized. They weren't like
Yeah,
athletes then. Yeah.
And
No, but now they're
she had to do,
athletes. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say because she had to do like, you know, a little convincing and to get her, you know, her dad's blessing to pursue it, because I know that's not what he wanted for her, but
Even if he didn't give the blessing, he just seems like the kind of guy like who's going to be supportive of his kids no matter what. So I'm sure he's just stupid proud of what his daughter's doing right now.
Big facts.
I think it'll pay off. And hey, we'll get it when she finally makes it to the main roster and she's like wrestling. Oh yeah, we'll see him pull up at WrestleMania or something.
I want to see her do more like promos. Like, I know she needs, you know, some more work there, but I really know, like, I mean, I could just feel it. Like, her dad is going to kick in, you know.
She's starting to get into it with Ivy Nile. I'm not gonna lie, I've become an Ivy Niles fan this past like 2 weeks. Like, just looking at some of the stuff on NXT with the Creed brothers, and I'm like, oh, she's kind of dope, bro. She buff as like hell for how short she is.
Hey, did you hear about the Creed brothers? I heard they're possibly moving up to the main roster. Did you hear about that?
Actually, I think the opposite. I did think that at first when they lost their match and they were pushed from NXT, it kind of made sense. Like, cool, main roster, right? I think they're a part of the Schism now, dog, because this last episode of NXT, the Schism came around and they were talking to Ivy Nile because she's sitting there taking down the Diamond Mine flag, and they surround her. And there's 2 guys there in masks, like with them, you know. And they always got guys in masks, but it kind of means a little something now. We see 2 additional guys standing there masked, and I'm like, I think they joined the Schism. So like Ivy now, it's her versus the whole Schism, and it's like it's kind of crazy because it's like, all right, Joe, like, what are you gonna do? You have 1 female, like you got. So I'm curious how this is gonna go. The Schism is really doing something on NXT. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna act like it's Cash Money like the best writing ever, but they're doing something down there, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, big shout out to Shawn Michaels for that, because like I remember hearing an interview like Gacy was like about to just leave, like he just did not like creative at the time and everything else, and it was really Shawn that kind of like talked him into like, no man, we got big plans for you and this and that. So like it was really cool that he decided to stick around for it and to see, you know, what he's doing, because Joe Gacy, he gives me like Bray Wyatt almost vibes in a way. Like, I think he could be a big star with more time. And you know, he just does really well. Like his promo work is good. He tries the mind game. I remember when Harlan, do you remember Harlan when he was like, you know, Brock Lesnar 2.0 when he first had him in NXT? And
because at first they were talking about Parker.
Yeah, same guy,
Parker,
Harlan.
Yeah,
Parker. Parker
Bodex or something like that.
Yeah, they changed him to Hardland. That was his name, and they shaved him, and he looked dumb. But even then, you could see though, like there was some work there that you're like, oh well, this guy Joe Gacy, he could probably be pretty good one day. So it's good to see that, and shout out to Schisms, and I'm excited to see where that goes, and I really do hope the Creed brothers join because now that makes it even more interesting. I really do, because I was thinking like rumors was like they're going to the main roster, and especially with Pretty Deadly being on the shelf now, like they were going to come and go to SmackDown, but that could be.
Yeah, especially because with all the call-ups we just had after like the draft, it doesn't really make sense for them to be calling people up because they haven't really replenished the numbers on NXT right now. I do agree. Ironically they're doing what I do in the video game, and they are taking people who do need to repackage and they're taking them down to NXT. So I'm happy for that because Corbin looks like I'm excited to see what they do with him. Mustafa had a good match with Tyler Bate. They did already do Ziggler, but they didn't actually rebuild him.
Yeah,
title, and then they said, "Back to Raw, buddy.
For real, back to the bottom,
back to the jobber spot."
Back to and it's so a shame because I thought they really had done something. But yeah, there's been so many reports of NXT getting called up, like people from NXT, and I'm always so confused because I'm like, why would they get called up now? Because like they were saying the thing about Braun Breaker, they're like, Braun Breaker's going to get called up soon because he's running out of things to do in NXT, and they have such big hopes for him in the main roster, and then they got him. He lost to Carmelo Hayes a couple times. He lost to Seth, and I think did he just lose recently?
I know he had a match with Dragunov. I don't know who won.
Dragunov was it? Okay, yeah, but a lot of people, they were reports going around saying that he might be on his way to the main roster.
That one I kind of believe, at least because you're right, there is somewhere to go for him. So
yeah, because when I think about it, I'm like, all right, he's won the NXT champion. Does he really need to go for the North American? Not really. Dom, main event Dom. He got that now, which surprised me too, because I really thought they were gonna continue to let Wesley go on with his feud and drop the title then. But
so I was mad at
Dom.
Yeah, I was watching a What Culture video, and they were talking about like ranking all the championship reigns, and like they said that Wesley was doing like okay with the North American title, but it hasn't been going like crazy good. So, and it wasn't his fault. It's just lack of story and stuff like that.
Yeah, super athletic.
Dom winning.
We went over the hour. Just letting you know. So,
yeah, no, I saw. I heard. I was just
okay. Yeah, I was like, ah, shit. But yeah,
no, I will say this though. So Dom winning the belt was so awesome because remember how we were talking about like they're gonna shift from Bloodline to Judgment Day.
Let's get one for Dom. One for Dom.
Because they don't have a thing yet, but
I know, right?
But no, I was saying like how they're shifting from Bloodline to Judgment Day. It's perfect. I'm like, okay, boom, you already have Rhea World Heavyweight Champion. Now you got Dom NXT champ, NXT North American champ. Now you got Damian with the briefcase. So now you just need Finn to beat Seth, and then the Judgment Day can take over.
Facts. And that's what should happen. I did hear though, and I hope this is not true, but I wouldn't be mad if it is. But there's reports that Carmelo Hayes is going to drop the NXT championship to Finn. And I'm like, what? And
I feel like that's lackluster. I don't want that.
I don't either, but I was hearing they said he's going to drop it to Finn so he can go to the main roster and be a part of Lashley's group. And I'm like,
But
and then after
they can still do that, but they just have to have somebody else take it. Don't make it.
Yeah, like
give it to Dragunov. Like I'd rather just give it to Dragunov.
I would say. I think Dragunov would be good.
I don't think Finn needs an NXT championship. He's already won it like 3-4 times. He knows, like, we know he can win it. We know he's the greatest NXT champion of all time. Mm-hmm. Some people might have other opinions on that, but I think he is.
I think he is. Finn single-handedly got me into watching NXT.
He's the one who made NXT what it was. Yeah, Finn made NXT what it was.
When I first seen him with the fucking paint and shit, man, because I knew who Prince Devlin was.
Prince Devitt, yeah.
Yeah, when he was in Japan and shit. But I didn't know he went to WWE to do the Demon and all this other stuff.
He also founded the Bullet Club, yeah.
Yeah, started Bullet Club, so I knew him from that. Because when AJ got there and all that stuff, because I'm a big AJ fan, but like I didn't really know too well when he left and went to NXT. One day I think I was on YouTube and I seen this entrance, bro, and I said, "Who the fuck is that? That is cool." And he doing this, and I looked and I said, "Wait a minute, is that that Prince Devlin from, and then they call him Finn Balor.
Yeah, I'll be honest, bro. Prince Devitt would fuck up Finn Balor, bro. The way like
yeah,
booking wise, Prince Devitt was another creature, bro.
yeah, he was, man. And starting the Bullet Club and seeing Bullet Club is still a thing. Like Bullet Club is so legendary. It's in literally like
It's kind of
3
a
to 4
shambles
different
now.
companies.
I was gonna say you got the Elite, you got Bullet Club Gold
Yeah,
now,
Bullet
which
Club
is kind of
Gold,
funny. Which I think they're doing okay. And then you
Bullet,
got
Bullet Club Elite. You got
yeah.
them. There's another one too, isn't there?
Yeah, there's one in like Ring of Honor with what's the name? No, Switchblade Jay is doing Bullet Club Gold, I think.
yeah, he's on Gold.
He's with Juice. He's with
yeah.
Juice in the Gun Club now.
And then even when, and well, I don't know if they're still, but when they're doing stuff with Impact, when Jay would go over there, he had damn, he had someone join. The name escapes me. He's a really good guy. Fuck, what's his name?
Was it the guy with the umbrella?
Nah, but I know who you're talking about. It was Chris Bay. Chris Bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chris Bay is really good. He's a talented guy. Actually, one of the shirts I was wearing last week was from Action Jackson. Chris Bay actually like trained him, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, like so he joined, so they had Bullet Club featured in Impact, AEW, WE when they started using the OC original club. Of course, New Japan.
Then he had Balor Club for a little bit too.
Balor Club, yeah. Shoot, there was another company I was going to say that still.
Oh yeah, so technically OC is a version of Bullet Club right now, actually.
Yeah,
so right. Yeah, so you got
the original club.
You got OC, Bullet Club Gold, the Elite. So
and that all basically started because of Finn. Like Finn is a fucking legend, bro. One time for Finn, one time. Like give him the once, but
actually no, let's give him a 2 sweet.
Yeah, let's give him. Yeah, exactly for you,
and
Finn.
I think that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you, Finn, for your great work, and we're here for you in the future.
Definitely. Thank you, all the Wrestle Theory fans out here. Thank you for continuing to support. Definitely watch, share, scream. Scream. Yeah, you can scream if you want. If you don't like my or Devin Uso's opinion, stream. Of course, like I said, we're on Spotify. We're working soon to get on Apple Podcasts. So all my Apple users soon, fingers crossed. YouTube, of course, continue to like our shorts, comment. We love to hear your opinions, and see you next week. Or maybe we should end it with a 2 sweet.
Boom.